Ohio. So they usually say Ohio. My wife says it every morning. She's like, Ohio. And then I'm like, Montana. And she's like, it's not funny no more. But I still laugh. Anyways, today's video I want to talk about motivation. Because a lot of speakers talk about motivation all the time. Like on YouTube, people that talk about motivation are just about YouTube itself. They're like, how can I get more views on YouTube? I swear in the last year, they're like the only ones that get views. So, but I want to talk about motivation because I kind of feel like motivation is kind of addicting, okay? At least the idea of inspiration is addicting, you know? I used to watch TED Talks, and I watched TED Talks for like 5 years straight. I still watch it here and there sometimes. I'm subscribed to it and all that. But like, I'd watch it, I'd see something that's so cool and so inspiring and stuff like that, and it makes me want to run out and go do whatever, right? But that inspiration lasted me like, I don't know, 3 days, maybe a week if I'm lucky. Like it was like a drug, right? You take the drug and you're like, ah! Then it wears off and you're like, and you come down back to reality. So like, having real motivation is really different than having an inspiration. I mean, unless that inspiration can really change your belief or your belief system, then the inspiration doesn't really matter, at least in my opinion. I've watched hundreds upon hundreds of TED Talk videos or just other motivational videos by rich people, poor people, whoever. You know, just because of the clickbait title. I was like, I can't not touch the button. No, click. There you go. 10 hours wasted. Could have studied Japanese that whole time, didn't do it. Yukiko's like, what were you doing? Have to make an excuse. But anyways, after that, of course, I'm all psyched up, you know, like a Super Saiyan. I'm like, ah, because my motivation level's high, because I was inspired by I have no idea what, because I clicked some button. Anyways, but eventually I come down to back to reality, and it's over, right? I have to go back to TED Talks or whatever inspirational video and watch it again. And when you watch it the second time, it's just not as motivational as it was the first time, you know? It's, like I told you, it's like drugs or whatever. You know how they say, like, you take a drug and then you get kind of immune to it, so take more the next time? So I need more inspiration the next time. Anyways, now we're gonna talk about like this real motivation, like what really motivates you, you know? Like, for example, real motivation is not starving to death. That's a real motivation. I don't need anyone to say anything about that. I don't need a YouTube video. I don't need a TED Talk video about that. I don't even need a lecture. Don't want to starve to death. Gotta work. Very simple. That's real motivation right there. Of course, when you like borrow money from someone and you tell them you're gonna pay them back, that right there is real motivation, unless you're kind of a jerk and you don't care about the relationship. But most people typically are fairly decent, so that's real motivation right there. What else could be real motivation? Just like for me, like providing for my family is real motivation. To see them happy, to see like their faces happy, real motivation. I felt very lost for many years. I couldn't understand to myself me being happy. Like, so if you as a person are not happy, how can you make someone else happy, right? And that's how I felt for years, endlessly. But one day it just came to me. It was just like I was walking through these beautiful flowers, okay? Kile, very beautiful flowers over in Osaka. And for me, I completely did not appreciate them at all. Like I was just like, beautiful flowers, whatever. But then I thought to myself, because I was talking to my wifey's mom the day before, and she was telling me how much she loves beautiful flowers. Like she's like daisuki, so loves. And I never knew that about her, and I've known her for like almost 10 years now. I never knew that, right? So the next day I found myself in this world of beautiful flowers, but I did not appreciate it at all. But it made me think about my family, because Yukiko, my wifey, she loves flowers. My baby, she loves flowers. So everyone in my family loves flowers. So I thought to myself, I should bring them here, because that would make them happy. And then I figured out a new motivation. Making other people happy is another motivation. Plus, I try to be funny. I'm not saying I'm the funniest guy in the world, but like, I like to find people's like kind of humor, or like what makes them funny. So in class, like, you know, I will talk to someone and I try to make them laugh. That right there makes me laugh, of course, especially if I can make them laugh. So that's another one of my motivations. Just like, you know, hanging out with my friends, trying to make them laugh. That's really fun. So yeah, so having motivation, at least real motivation, is way better than being inspired for like 3 days and then like, I don't know, then coming off that and not being inspired anymore, and being back in the same position you were before, or being inspired for just a week. You know, I see so many inspirational videos, but like, they're not the same as real motivation. So inspiration versus real motivation, you gotta really weigh that, you know? Think about the motivations in your life. What motivates you? Casey Neistat put it best, I guess. What motivates you? So he's actually one person who inspired me, but at the same time, like I told you, inspiration doesn't last. So, and I watch his videos here and there, but, and he's not the only person I watch, because he's not the only person that inspires me. But in the end of the day, I truly realized to myself that the only one that can really motivate me to do anything in this world is me, and having real things around me that motivate me, such as my family. The camera I'm using right now is a $800 camera. Now it's $600. And like literally like 4 months ago it was $800. So I'm like, what? No, I probably should have just waited. But okay, my wifey's mom believes in me. She believes in me doing this, like, for you guys, YouTube and stuff like that. And plus, it makes me happy. She wants to see me happy, and she wants to see me keep putting effort out towards learning Japanese and putting effort out to provide for this family, to make them happy. So she lent me the money to buy this camera. Before this, I had a much crappier camera, and that is a really big motivation for me to make, you know, better quality stuff for you guys. You know, just because I have to pay her back. That's all there is to it, you know. So, and I will, of course, no problem. I'll probably pay her back in the next few months. But I'm just talking about motivation, because I truly feel like if you have no motivation in your life, and I've been to that place, okay? I've been to a place of depression where I couldn't get out of bed for like days on end. I just couldn't, there was nothing that got me out of bed. There was nothing, you know? And this is when I went back to America for a bit, and I was away from my family. So, and then I felt, I don't know why, depressed for that moment on. And when I came back, I was fine. So we all have moments of depression in our life. Even though like most people don't like talk about it too much, I kind of understand, because it kind of seems like when you talk about it with someone who's not so close to you, they kind of run away. You're all like, I'm a little depressed. They're like, are you? Are you depressed? Whew. And they just run off. You're like, okay. But you know, but when you talk to really close friends about depression, then typically they'll listen. So that's a very good way to distinguish how close you are with your friends. So if you have a problem such as like maybe slightly depressed for whatever reasons, sometimes people get depressed for no reason, and they listen to you, they're good friends, okay? If they run away, avoid the subject or change the subject. They're not that good of friends. So anyways, find your motivation. And when I mean motivation, I mean real motivation. Like what really makes you go. And I feel like what makes you go will be addicting, just like a drug. And it will be permanently addicting, you know? I do YouTube all the time for the fun of it, definitely not for the money. If it was for the money, like I said before, I would have quit a long time ago. I would have quit a year ago, okay? Because I don't make that much money at all off this period. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, I don't do it for the money. Big YouTubers, I'm sure at some point in time they didn't do it for the money too, but then they just kind of blew up, and then all of a sudden they had money. So I guess that's a big YouTuber problem. I'm a small YouTuber, so I know nothing about that, right? But anyways, find your motivation, your real motivations, and happiness is fleeting. Happiness comes and goes. Try to have more than one happiness, because if you have one happiness, then that one happiness goes away, then you have no happiness. So you gotta invest in many happinesses, okay? Then when one goes away, you still have like 10 more. Peace until next video. Stay motivated.